is Villarreal and my video is all about adverbs. Adverbs, as well as you know it, is the part of speech or word class that is primarily used to modify a verb, an adjective, or even its fellow adverbs. Adverbs can also modify prepositional phrases, subordinate clause, and complete sentences. In adjectives, it uses the word adverbial, while for dictionary uses, it uses the abbreviation A, D, and V. Moving on, we shall now start the concept of adverbs. First is positions of an adverb. An adverb that modifies an adjective like quite sad or another adverb such as very carelessly appears immediately in front of the word it modifies. An adverb that modifies a verb is generally more flexible. It may appear before or after the verb it modifies, like for example, softly sang or sang softly. Or it may appear at the beginning of the sentence. One example is the phrase of the phrase like softly she sang to the baby. We can easily find out that this word softly is an adverb in the phrase because it is found at the beginning of the sentence. It has the suffix ly, which I will discuss about later. And of course, it notifies or modifies the word swan. Moving on, the position of the adverb may have an effect on the meaning of the sentence. Next is functions of an adverb. Adverbs typically add information about time, such as rarely, frequently, and tomorrow. Manner like quickly, softly, and willingly. Or place like here, there, and everywhere. In addition to a wide range of other meanings. Now, forms of an adverb. Many adverbs, especially adverbs of manner, are usually formed from adjectives by addition of the suffix ly, like easily and dependably. Let me show you. Here's the ly suffix. Here are the examples. These are already considered as an adverb of manner because it has the suffix ly. But many common adverbs like just, still, and almost, and of course not, do not end in ly. And not all words that end in ly like friendly and neighborly aren't considered as adverbs of manner. Moving on, we have the adverb phrases. Adverb phrases function like adverbs. Of course, they can still tell when, how, where, and to what extent or purpose. Adverb phrases can also start with a preposition. Some examples of this are with a hammer, though this is a prepositional phrase and it has a preposition, this phrase may also function as an adverbial phrase. Another one is next door. Next is considered as an adverb in the sentence or also a preposition. Adverb phrases can also start with the infinitive form of a verb. Like in these examples, to buy a car. To is using the infinitive form of a verb in this phrase, and it modifies the verb buy. Another one is to support the team, and also to show her mother. Here is a list of other adverb phrases. I'll show you one example. While I was waiting. While, though others may consider this as a subordinator, may act as an adverbial phrase because it modifies the verb waiting. Moving on, adverbs are also intensifiers. One function of an intensifier or an adjective is to intensify the meaning of the word it is modifying. One example of this is the emphasizer. Emphasizer means either putting more or less emphasis to the word or giving emphasis to the word it modifies. Next is amplifier. Amplifier gives complete exaggeration or toning or putting up or putting down the meaning of the word. And lastly, we have the downtoner. For downtoners, it is toning down the feeling of the word or giving the act of humbleness. One example of an emphasizing adverb is that I really don't care. Really is used as the emphasizer in this sentence because it gives emphasis to the verb don't and gives complete meaning to the sentence. One example of amplifier is that she completely rejected his proposal. Completely is used as the amplifier in this sentence because it gives complete exaggeration and it also modifies the verb rejected. And it has the suffix ly, of course. And lastly, I have an example for the downtoner. I have, she mildly disapproved his actions. For this one, I shall consider mildly because, like I've said before, downtoners can also give the feeling of you're not yet sure on what to do or how to do the action. So I chose mildly, and it also modifies the word disapproved, and it has the suffix ly. And the next topic is that kinds of adverbs. Now I shall tell you about the basic kinds of adverbs. First up is the adverbs of manner. It usually tells us the manner or way in which something happens. They usually answer the question how. They mainly modify verbs. One example is that he speaks slowly. With that question, we can make it as a guide for locating the adjective or the adverb. The question is, how does he speak? And so the answer is slowly, thus making it the adverb in the sentence. Like I've said, adverb of manner has a special unique thing that it has the suffix ly. So we can easily find it, and it modifies the verb speaks. Next is we have the adverb of place. It tells us the place where something happens. They answer the question where. They also modify, or they mainly modify verbs like the adverb of manner. One example is that, please sit here. The guide question for that is that, where should I sit? But with that guide question, you can easily find out where is the adverb in the sentence. So, according to the question, the answer would be automatically here. And with that, we can easily find that this is an adverb. And its modifying verb is the verb sit. Moving on, we have the adverb of time. It tells us something about the time that something happens. They mainly modify verbs, like the past two. They usually answer the question when. Well, I have one example. I want it now. So with that guide question, when do I want it? Well, with complete analysis, now is the answer for that question, making it automatically the adverb in the sentence. And it also modifies the verb want. And another one is the adverb of frequency. it usually answers the question how often or how frequently you do the answer. One example for that is that they deliver the newspaper daily. The guide question for that, for us to easily locate where is the adverb in the sentence, is how often do they deliver the newspaper? Well, the answer of that is daily, which automatically makes it into an adverb. Well, it also modifies the verb deliver. And lastly, we have the adverb of degree. It tells us the degree or extent to which something happens. The answer to the question, how much or to what degree? Adverbs of degree can modify verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. One final example is that she entirely agrees with him. Entirely, well, that is the adverb. And we have the guide question. How much does she agree with him? And the answer to that is entirely, because it gives how much does he trust him, or how much does he agree with him. So it also modifies the verb agrees. Well, that's all about adverbs. Thanks for watching. So long!